Welcome, Bitcoin friends. It's Bitcoin Mamo. Today we're going to look at the Bitcoin charts, do some TA, we'll look at various time frames, and we'll also take a look at the US stock market. We did see today Jerome Powell was speaking, and he mentioned that interest rates may go higher than expected. We did see a reaction in the stock market, dropping 2% since then. And with the previous inflation numbers, we did see it didn't drop as low as what was expected. So the Fed will remain hawkish until they can get that inflation number down. And the announcement of the new interest rates will be on the 22nd of March. So I do think we possibly come down a bit further here on the stock market over the next couple of weeks. And this is the S&P 500 chart we've got pulled up here. We are on the 3-week time frame. And we are currently in this rising wedge pattern here. We have 2 touches on the bottom, 2 touches on the top, alternating touches. Generally in a rising wedge. On the 3rd touch, we break bearish. And I do have some order blocks drawn in here on the 3-week chart. I think this order block is going to become quite important if we do pull back here. We can see it acted as support on this pullback after getting rejected from this higher order block. And we also got rejected on the 2nd attempt here. I do think we come back down and possibly test this lower order block again, looking for support, and even a retest of this trend line connecting the overall highs, which we did break above. But we do have some support here, looking at the VPVR, the amount of volume traded at certain price levels. So I would be looking for the stock market, if it does break this falling wedge, to get support somewhere in this area. And over to Bitcoin now. We're also on the 3-week chart for Bitcoin, and there are some interesting order blocks here. We see 2 key order blocks here. Again, these order blocks are areas of supply and demand. It's a break in the trend. Time was spent here and therefore volume. And so these become key levels, and they can act as support or resistance levels later on when we interact with them. So we do have this order block from this green candle, and we can see it has been acting as support for the time being. But if we do close a 3-week candle below this order block, the next order block is down at these lower levels between 19.6K and 19.1K. And this is an area we talked about in the previous video. Not much has changed. I am still looking at this area as a possible target where we may pull back to. And I'll quickly skim over some of those reasons. We are on the log scale here, and I do have this yellow dotted trend line just connecting these lows. We can see we lost the support of this trend line. We did regain it, and I think we come back down to retest that trend line again and look for support also in line with this order block. And this is also where the golden pocket is, doing the fib retracement from the low to the high. So there is some confluence with this area. We also see on the VPVR a lot of volume was traded between these order blocks, and we see it does drop off once we get below 18.8K. If we do start trading below this trend line, then I think we will come back down and revisit these lows. But in my opinion, I think we're going to get support of this area if we do come down here. And just switching to the 2-week chart, we do also have this trend line connecting the overall highs here. And we did mention in the previous video that this trend line on the log scale also crosses over with the yellow dotted trend line and the golden pocket area. So I am looking at this as the possible target here, as mentioned in the previous video. And we do also have a 2-week order block here from this green candle in a downtrend. This does go down to about 19,600. So I think we come down into this order block. We possibly wick down to this golden pocket, but we still close that 2-week candle inside this order block. And with these order blocks, we do look at the bodies of the candles, not the wick. So it depends where the candle closes. And this target here would be on the 27th of March on that 2-week candle. And that 2-week candle would go until the 10th of April. But jumping back to the 3-week chart now briefly, I just want to look back at the 2014-15 bear market, because it does seem like we're doing a similar thing with this bottoming pattern. But what we notice here in early 2015, we do have an order block here from this red candle in an uptrend. It's the only order block in this range here. But we did have this move to the upside, similar to our current cycle where we moved up to 25K. And then we did have this throwback. We can see we did have this long wick, depends on what chart you look at. It is different on different exchanges, but we see we did still close this 3-week candle pretty much inside this order block. So the order block did act as support, and then we did start the bull run. So let's look at a different exchange now. This is the Bitstamp chart. This is the 2014-15 bear market. We were looking at this bottoming pattern. Here is that 3-week order block in blue. And we see on the Bitstamp chart, we only pulled back to this area, whereas on some of the other exchanges, we came all the way down here and formed a double bottom. But we can see doing a fib retracement from the low to the high. This pullback, we did come to that golden pocket area. We did also come back to retest this trend line connecting the overall highs on this pullback. And then once we got support off that golden pocket and that order block and this trend line, we started the next bull run. And going down to the weekly time frame now, the same setup. We've got those same lines drawn. We are on the log scale like the other charts. Here is that target we talked about, the golden pocket, that yellow dotted line, and that overall trend line connecting the highs in the bear market. And I think we do continue to come down here. Perhaps we get some bounces along the way, but I will be looking for this area to act as support. We also have a couple of weekly order blocks down in this range. And the other thing we talked about in the previous video, if we do take a fib retracement from this high to this low, we get the 382 fib here. If we take it from this high to the low, we get the 0.5 fib in line with that 382 fib. And if we take it from this high, which is pretty much this high, we get that golden pocket fib, also in line with the 382 and the 0.5 fib. So there's a confluence of fib levels here, and that also lines up with our target we spoke about. So nothing has changed from the previous video really. And as mentioned, I think this is going to play out coming towards the end of the month. The target here is on the 27th of March. We can see we did get rejected off that 200-week moving average in red and the 50-week moving average in yellow. And we do see that 50-week moving average is coming down quite sharply. It will continue to come down here and start to curve around. And I think we come down, hit this target, get a bounce, and reclaim that 50-week moving average, and then start the next bull run. And we saw that during the 2014-15 bear market here. We formed this bottoming pattern. We did get rejected off that 50-week moving average, had that pullback, came back to the golden pocket. Again, on the Bitstamp chart, we only came to here. On other exchanges, we came all the way down. But we can see we didn't close any of these weekly candles below the golden pocket area. This acted as support. That 50-week moving average kept coming down. It curved around. We reclaimed it, and then we started the next bull run. So that's what I'm looking for to happen here. And this would also line up with a pullback on the stock market coming into that interest rate announcement, which may be higher than what people expect. And we can also look at the VPVR here for the overall Bitcoin price going all the way back to 2020. And we see the biggest spike on the VPVR is in line with that area we spoke about where that golden pocket is. And that's looking at all the price action almost over a 3-year period. And switching to the Bitcoin futures chart on CME now, we are in this channel when looking at the futures chart. And we do also have this CME gap that never got filled. So I do think we come down and fill that gap at least. And to fill that gap, we need to come down to 20K. And the golden pocket area is down here around 18.6 to 18.9K. And if we were to come all the way down to the golden pocket on the futures chart around a similar time, around the 3rd of April, we would come down to the bottom of this channel and I would look for a bounce here. And this would also intersect the line here that captures the overall highs during the bear market. So it'd be a retest of this line and also a retest of the bottom of this channel. And going down to the daily time frame now for Bitcoin, I've just zoomed into this bottoming pattern here. This is on the regular scale now as it does draw this channel pattern better. We can see we're pretty much been in this channel here And if we do break below this channel, it would have a measured move, which is the width of the channel taken to the breakdown point, would have a measured move down to that golden pocket area that we have spoken about. So whether we close below this channel today on the daily time frame, or whether we close back inside it and get support and have maybe one more bounce before coming down and breaking it, I do think it's more likely that we do break down from this channel. And to close below this channel on today's daily close, we need to close below around 22,240. We do also have the 200-day moving average in red here, which is currently sitting at around 19.7k. It is pretty much sideways here. It does also lie near the range of that golden pocket, which starts at 19.2k. So there are a lot of points of confluence here. Just looking on the daily, we also see that spike on the VPVR in line with that golden pocket area. So everything's sort of pointing towards a pullback to this area for me. Again, it could take a couple of weeks for this move to play out. And the last chart for today, this is the 2014-15 bear market here, the bottoming pattern at the bottom of the bear market that we looked at. And this is our current price action. I've just got these white vertical lines here. I've just got them lined up. And this refers to when we look at market cipher here, where we did get these red dots and the start of these pullbacks. And we are on the 3-day time frame. But we do see that it does line up quite well, both of these bottoming patterns. And I've got that golden pocket area pulled up for both cycles, and also this white oblique trend line here, which is connecting the overall highs during the bear market for both of these cycles. It is very similar. I think we come back to that golden pocket as I spoke about and that trend line, and we look for support here, just like what we did in the 2014-15 bottoming area of the bear market. And again, we do see similar things. This is the 50-week moving average on both of these charts. And we saw we did get above it here, and we got it above it here in this cycle. And we also got back above it here on this second rally, similar to our current price action. And now we are looking to break that 50-week moving average like we did here, and looking for that continuation down to the golden pocket area. And I don't think the pullback will be as bad as on this occasion. Again, different exchanges were different. I think because we had the FTX collapse here and the panic sellers selling during this period, there won't be as many sellers during this pullback as there was during this pullback, as we pretty much held the support here. We didn't see any more panic selling after this drop. There was that more potential for panic selling during this drop here than I think there will be for our current cycle. And the people who might have sold here during this big drop, perhaps they missed the boat on this rally and they're looking to get in at lower prices, waiting for that pullback. So I think there will be buyers on this pullback here. And again, I don't think we'll go as low as the comparison with the 2014-15 bear market here. But I think that's about all for today. Nothing's really changed that much. We'll have to wait over the coming weeks to see if this plays out. But I hope you enjoyed that analysis on Bitcoin Mamo. I'll see you next time. Bye.